Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Chairman cum Managing Director Jong Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited Sanjay Goyal habaya keren markilat pathai khubor ka khatlai tarik ujleo arajar arphulai ula pentim bahadin ka jingjor jong uslam hagini ki khendiat sngi ka hakawa Umïam kala Kiew kumbahan reu hadu hnyo Phut tangba ula ongpat ba Watla ka kala Kiew kattei empat la ban Weng no ya ka Jingpynlip Bording ka badang hab ban yaj kumba julong hagaju ka por Goyal ula ong ba ka MEECL ka haban thet Bording kum na ka NTPC bat ki weipat nang ba ka Jingpynlip Bording kanam palat banya ka ka balong menta nalor kata ula ong ru ba kamshim ladon ka Jingpynlip Bording ha ka por mensngi hagini ki khendiat sngi na ka daw jong ka jing hap slam ula ong ru bala da ka jingjor jong uslap hagini ki sngi ki ban wan ka long ka babiang bala da ka snatrai kam ka ibiang ya ka rukom Kiew jong ka sarkar kan pendunano ya ka kenta jong ka Jingpynlip Bording.
Of course, there have been rains in the recent 3-4 days, and as I have been sharing with the media also that the level of water in Umïam has risen by almost about 6 to 7 feet in this thing, and we must keep in mind that the Umïam has reached at the level which it has not reached in last almost more than a decade, and the present level also is the level which actually is not a very comfortable level, and the water which we have at present, if it doesn't rain, is still further as per the desired which we have, and then this water is also not very sufficient for maybe 10 days to 11 days of production, because as we go down, the surface level decreases and the volume of water is less, though in terms of feet or in terms of height it seems that it has considerably risen. So we have arranged additional power, as I have been mentioning earlier, from NTPC, and we are buying extensively, as our Honorable CM has also mentioned, from the open market to maintain the present level of load shedding. Of course, the other projects which are there, like Leshka and all, they are the run of the river projects, and we don't have the storage capacity there as such beyond a small quantity. So whenever we are getting good amount of rains and all, we as you must have observed in the last 3-4 days, during the daytime we have not gone ahead with the load shedding because the power was available with us. It is during the evenings, if there is no rains and we are having some slightly higher demands. So that's why we are providing powers during evening time without any load shedding across the state, and managing it with some bit of load shedding still with the power. So in nutshell, what I can say that if the rains situation improve in the days to come, and we are comfortable in terms of water level, definitely we'll go for and we'll try to reduce the number of hours of the load shedding, especially the time which are more desirable for having the power, and we will again rework out our schedule for the load shedding. Share with you, the power purchases happens at a real time basis. So that's where the thing is, sometimes the power is available at a very high cost, like if we are talking about this time when it's 7:30, if you see the exchange rates, it will be somewhere around 10 rupees to 12 rupees per unit. And at this point of also, if we have the shortage, we have to purchase from the market, because that's the commitment of the corporation that during the peak hours we will not go for load shedding. So it varies, the average comes out to be 7 rupees or 8 rupees, and if we are purchasing sufficient power, it all depends. So what Honorable Chief Minister has mentioned is correct, that we do spend a good amount of money in ensuring the current status of the load shedding. But as I mentioned, I hope that the rains are better in the days to come, so that we can pass on this benefit to the consumers.
Case will the government or MECL be able to do that so that they will not miss out the target?
Yes. I think it's a very good question, and see, we have already finalized 2 packages. We have taken up the work of certain categories of work in our Leshka also and other dams, which are small minor works, and the safety of the dam, we are now the other 4 packages are ready. Package number 2 to 6, in fact, 5 packages, for which we have referred for clearance to the central PMU which we have in the ministry. The moment we get clearance from there, we'll take up those works also. Another set of projects is there in the pipeline. I have given the deadline of 3 months to my officers to complete the requirement as far as the tenders are concerned. So our target is that for those the studies should be completed in next 3 months time, so that we can take it up again with the government of India to take up those packages also. So idea is that under this project we take up the safety and the rehabilitation of all the structures which are related to dam, whether it is a gate, whether it is the dam as such, whether the other activities which are allowed under the project.
How much fund is being sanctioned?
So in the first phase we have been sanctioned around 180 crores, out of which we have tendered, if I remember correctly, around 15 odd crores. The other packages which are there in the pipeline for approval would be roughly covering the sanctioned part. The balance, as and when we submit the proposal, it gets vetted out. It's a thoroughly scientific vetting which is done at various levels, and once it is convinced that this is the project which is actually required for the rehabilitation or the safety part, we get the funding and will take it up in the days to come. This project is to be implemented in 2025, and I'm sure that we have enough time in our hand to take up these activities. The water availability is there, so one of the units has already been synchronized with the grid, and we are in the process of the other 2 units. We have kept a target for ourselves by the end of the month. I think we should be in a position to activate all the 3 units in another 1 month's time. Which we are taking up with the commission. The others are the cases of the disconnections, which have already, they are no more getting supply from us, but at one point of time they have taken power from us, and they have been disconnected, and those amounts are quite huge, and some of them have gone into the NCLT also, declaring themselves as insolvent. So we are fighting the matter before the NCLT, so that we also get our dues out of the entire settlement which happens. In other cases, of course, we are taking legal course of whatever is available in our hand to get these dues back from them.
So if we take into consideration domestic consumers and industries, how much the deals that are being?
So dues, if you talk about that, runs into, as Bajos was mentioning, it runs into hundreds of crores. It is, our due is more than maybe 300 crores.
300 crores?
Yes.
All industries and
all combined, and all those who have gone into NCLT, all those where the bills are disputed, all those where they have the consumers are no more traceable. But this is not, as I mentioned, this is not a day's thing. These things have happened and have happened over a period of time, and we are now trying to work around it. How much of it is recoverable and how much of it we need to take legal course and legal action against them. As I mentioned, one classic example was this mobile towers. Same companies is existing in the state. They are not paying certain cases. In certain cases, they are paying. They should pay for all. And conveniently getting disconnected and taking another connection, that is not allowed, and we will take strict action against that. And there is some concept which is called the fixed charges. If the power gets reallocated to some other state, then the fixed charges are not applicable to the state, because that state gives the fixed charges also. It so happened in the past that we did not take power from the NTPC, and it was not reallocated to the other states. That's how these huge dues of the fixed charges came upon us. So we are in the process of negotiating. We have gone to the High Court also. Honorable High Court has also given us some directions and some direction to NTPC, and we are in the process of negotiating and coming to some agreement on the past dues.
earlier it was given to Tamil Nadu,
Yes.
and now it's coming back.
See, it all depends. that is my allocation. Tamil Nadu took it for a year, and then Tamil Nadu says that I don't want it anymore. So it will come back to me. They have the right to refuse. I don't have the right to refuse because I am already into an agreement with the NTPC.
But
So
can
in a very simple manner, I am trying to explain.
can this agreement be amended
It was done way back in
Yeah.
2007.
2007?
So 25 crores have to take this fixed charge.
No, see, we are drawing power, then it's not an issue. The cost of the energy and the fixed power is included into it. Once we don't draw the power, so the fixed charges of, I'm not able to recall, per megawatt is the fixed charges. So if you draw, you don't draw. It's just like your idle charges, no? You hire a vehicle, if you don't run it,
Still
you
have
hire
to
a
pay.
taxi, if you don't run, you have to pay at the end of the day, no? That this much is there, whether you run 1 kilometer, you run 80 kilometers, the same. Various departments, sometimes quarterly, sometimes by the end of the year. So that's not a very big concern for the corporation. The other dues are, of course, the consumers, which are the individual consumers or various consumers who have already consumed the electricity and have not paid. So for that, we have taken up, in fact, we are going for a mass disconnection drive, wherein those who are not purposefully paying the payment, our dues, we will be disconnecting those consumers. Recently, we have issued letters to all the mobile companies, wherein they have not paid their dues for the mobile tower payments and all, and the same company is running towers in different parts of the state, but not paying certain cases. So we have written to them that we will disconnect all if they don't make the payments for all of them. So corporation is trying to find out who are the consumers who are in a position to pay and maybe intentionally not paying. So we are in the first phase, we are targeting them. They have the capacity to pay and they are not paying.
Will it be running into crores? How much reduce?
Off late, I mean off the hand, I can't say the figures, but what you're saying is correct. These figures are quite substantial in number, and we have given the target for us to. In fact, we are targeting in a slightly fast manner. I have taken up those dues which are above 1 lakh rupees of payments which have been not paid by the consumers in last say maybe 3 months time or 1 month or 6 months time. Those are the consumers which are in target, and through all of you, I would like to appeal to all the consumers also, those who are in a capacity to pay and they don't have any dispute regarding the bills. Please come forward and pay so that we can give you better supplies. The Honorable Minister has also clarified. Is one part is of the bridge which is over the dam, and the bridge with all these studies which have been done by various agencies is safe as of now. We have done a lot of tests earlier also in terms of the vibration test and all. Of course, the pier bearings on which it is resting, they have become old, so that retrofitting work we are contemplating, and we will take it up whenever we are ready with all the precautions and with all the machineries which are required to replace them. And apart from that, as far as the dam is concerned, we are taking up under the dam rehabilitation project of the Government of India, for which the studies are going on, and what kind of interventions are required, whether they are leakages which are beyond permissible limits, whether they are cracks which are there in the dam or not. That studies are going on, and there have been direction from the government that we involve IIT Guwahati. IIT Guwahati is already on board for giving us this study report as far as the safety of the superstructures are concerned, and we have already taken up the matter with IIT Guwahati, and I'm sure that they will do a good work and submit a report to us. At the same time, as I mentioned, the dam rehabilitation project is entirely a different project which looks into not only the safety of the dam, so many other parameters, the life of the dam, what kind of interventions are required to increase the life of the dam. It's a very scientific approach which the Government of India is taking up. It's a World Bank aided project, and I think we should be in a position to take up in a fast manner all the structures which are in the generation part of the state. See, we have to understand one thing is about the quantum of water. When you talk about supplying the water to certain authorities, it's not in a very big quantity when we are talking about the quantity which impacts our generation. So when you talk about generation, it talks about in the cubic meters or cubic million meters of water kind of thing. So I don't think it's a very big issue as far as supply to the other authorities, because they are basically using for the domestic consumption and this thing. They are not wasting water as such. And the bigger issue is that we should have more efficient use of water, and in terms of that there is no leakages in our generation points, in our dams and all. And that's what the corporation is now taking it up very seriously, so that we don't waste water wherever we have the storage of water, so that it can be maximum utilized for the purpose of generation. And as you are aware that these are the matters which are held on the basis of the petitions and this thing. Yes, this is a fact, and as our Honorable Singh has already mentioned, that there are certain issues about the determination of the tariff for certain category of consumers, which according to the corporation, we are not convinced that about that level of tariff which has been fixed. So there are certain procedures that needs to be followed. We are filing the review petition before the Honorable Regulatory Commission. There are certain cases of the past also, which we are fighting in terms of our court case kind of thing, which happens before the Honorable Commission, and I'm sure that we will get some relief from the Commission. Anyways, is supporting the corporation way out of way, so that at least we are getting all kinds of financial support, so that we are in a position to give the salaries to our employees on time. So I don't think there's any issue with the government, and we review it at different intervals of time. I have requested the finance department, and finance department also has agreed to clear all the electricity dues of all the departments in time. So there's no issue of any government dues with the government department, and it comes, if it is not coming this quarter, it comes in the next quarter through the budgetary support. So we don't have any issues with the government agencies as such, I mean government departments as such.